Welcome to Write with Love. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling author, speaker, and creative entrepreneur. Each week, I chat to passionate and inspiring authors about their journey in creative writing. Some are traditionally published, some do it themselves. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone has something interesting to say. We all love love and love what we do. Today's show is brought to you by our amazing fans and supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the show and get some awesome bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/Sarah Williams Author to learn more. Now here's today's show. G'day, I'm Sarah Williams, romance author and independent publisher at Renee Publishing. Today I'm chatting to Renee Conoulty. Thanks for joining me, Renee.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No worries. So, can you tell us about yourself and your journey to publication?
Okay, well, I never had a plan for publication. I never had a plan to write. It's something that kind of snuck up on me by surprise. It probably started, I've always been an avid reader, so I've always loved reading, big bookworm. And then when my hubby joined the military and we posted up to Darwin, I was looking for something to do because I was at home. I could only pick up a bit of part-time work, had the kids at home. So I was like, well, I like reading. I'd love to join a book club. But I found it really hard to actually get out of the house and go to a book club. So I got online. I discovered this place called Goodreads and got lost in the abyss of Goodreads. I found a great group of people there to join and started reading almost competitively. I got up to about 275 books a year, which is kind of a lot. But I saw myself as a reader, not a writer. I'd never been interested in writing. I just didn't think I could. Like, I like writing corny poetry and dumb things that rhyme just to amuse myself, but a novel just was way too daunting. And all these books that I was reading were written by these authors that are these like godlike creatures that sit over here and have creativity and can write, and I'm not like that. So after doing that for a little while, I started up a book review blog. Honestly, it was so I could get onto NetGalley and request free books.
Yeah.
That's why it started, which was great for me, and it was great for meeting authors. Like, after I'd requested a few books, I'd actually connected online with a few different authors, and I discovered that authors are people. They're like normal people like me.
Yeah.
And so that sort of made me sort of think twice about things. And then I had a few people say, oh, you should write a book, and encourage me, because I've been writing this blog. I've been writing silly little stories about things and writing book reviews. And I had probably 3 different people say, oh, you should write a book. I'm like, oh, I can't write a book. What would I write a book about? And the one thing that actually started me off and decided, okay, I will start writing a book, Natasha Lester, who I think you had on the blog a couple of weeks ago, a little while ago, she's got a fantastic website. And one of the articles she'd written that I happened to read that week was saying that you don't need to know everything to write a book. You don't have to have the whole story worked out. All you need to start writing as a book is some time and one idea. And I read that, and like the next week my husband was going away for a month for training with the military. So I was like, well, I've got all my evenings free now for a month, and I kind of do have an idea, because when we found out we were moving to Darwin, I started looking around for books that was contemporary novels set in Darwin, just to get a bit of a feel for what Darwin's like, and I couldn't find any. And when I found out hubby was going to join the military, I've been looking around for contemporary stories about Australian military life. I couldn't find any of those either. I found lots of historical stuff and World War II stories, but there was nothing about contemporary everyday life in the military. Now, you Google military romance or military stories, you get all the alpha heroes in the Navy SEALs in the USA, but you really don't get a lot that's set in Australia. And also I took up swing dancing back in 2000 in Melbourne, and where I actually met my husband at a swing dancing class on the Gold Coast. So that's been another passion of mine, and I'm always on the lookout for books that have got any glimpse of swing dancing in it. And they're pretty few and far between as well. So I figured, well, actually I've got 3 ideas, not one idea. I want to read a book with swing dancing. I want to read a book with Australian military life, and I want to read a book about Darwin. So I thought, well, maybe I can write that book. And So I thought, okay, and I sort of thought about it for a week or so. And then one of the friends who'd been encouraging me to write, she said, I'm signing up for NaNoWriMo next month for the Camp Nano, so you don't have to do 50,000 words. You can set your own limit. Do you want to join me? Do you want to join my cabin they have in the Camp Nano? I'm like, okay, well, I kind of have an idea and I was thinking about doing it. So that was that little push off the edge. And that July 2015 it would have been, I got 20,000 words out in a month. Nice. And I'd never written more than 500 words before. So I kind of surprised myself. And I gave myself the reward of buying How to Write a Blockbuster by Fiona McIntosh as my reward for getting through Nano. I thought, okay, if I'm serious enough to actually write 20,000 words, I better figure out what on earth this thing is that I'm doing. Yep. So then from there on, I started absorbing writing craft books and joining online groups and just getting to know other authors and just trying to figure out what this whole writing thing is. Yeah. I went back and as I was figuring out what was going on, I found that like a large chunk of my story was backstory that didn't need to be there, but I needed to write it to figure out who my character was. Yeah. So I ended up copying and pasting that out into another document, and I ended up fleshing that out into a short story so I could get to know my character, and that's actually come out since then as a prequel to the novel. But I finished my novel. It took me a while. The first 20,000 was good, and from there on it kind of slowed down a bit. Life husband comes back from his course and life continues on. Yeah. And you have ups and downs, but I kept writing, and but it probably took about a year all up to get that first novel, the first draft down and start playing around with it and to get to the point where I could show my mum. Yeah. and she said, oh, that's great. She goes, but you know, like that woman, she's been pregnant for about 10 months now. And the book just ended. You might need to have a baby somewhere along the line. So one of the side characters, she forgot to have her baby. So there was a little bit of work to get the story all back in together and make it work. But yeah, that one, I did actually take that to I joined RWA and I went to the conference in 2016. Yeah. And I did pitch that novel to 2 different publishers. And they both said, yes, send it through. And then I got home from conference and realised, like that was in August, I realised we're posting out of Darwin. We're leaving Darwin in November this year. Yeah. And if I send this book through to those publishers, I'm not even going to hear back about it before November this year. And my novel was set in Darwin. It was set around the swing dancing community in Darwin, they're real people. The people in the book are not real people, but the setting is all real. Yeah. And I had this, I don't know, what I really wanted out of my book was to have a book launch party with my friends in Darwin. So I went, okay, well, I could send it to the big publishers and there's a chance I could get a publishing deal. But what was more important to me at that moment was not to have a big publishing deal. I wanted my book to share with my friends before I had to leave. So I went, okay, what are my options? I could self-publish, but I don't even know where to start with that. And then I had that friend who a year before had been saying, you should write a book, had also been talking over that last year about she wanted to start her own publishing company. Yeah. So I sort of messaged her and I said, so where are you at with this publishing company? Do you reckon you could start it now and publish my book before I leave Darwin? And she's like, okay. So we both worked together and got Kindred Ink Press started. Like I'm like poking her along. Yeah. Saying, can you do it now instead of next year when you're planning to? So yeah, that got started a little bit sooner. So it's taken her a little bit to catch up, and now she's got a whole lot of books coming out in the next year or so with other authors. She's got open submissions at the moment for some short story novellas and things for box sets coming up. Oh, good. So there's lots of things going on there, but I'm like, I was the first one. And it was great. We really got in together and worked hard and got this book out. And I had my book launch party with paperbacks in hand the week before we left Darwin.
Oh, so it was like a farewell as well.
So yeah, if you hunt through my Facebook author page, there's a video from the book launch party if you go through all the videos, so you can have a look at us all sweating out in the humidity at the back of a little dress shop, which is a shop that was featured in the book at one point. So it was just nice to have it all tie together. Yeah. And have that party there.
So what was that book called, if anyone's interested?
That's called Don't Mean a Thing.
Don't Mean a Thing.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Got a copy.
So
awesome.
Got the swing dancing couple on the front. So this is book one in a series. Like I'm actually planning to do a series of military Darwin swing dancing books. So that has the main character is a girl called Macy, and she's a woman who's in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So the next book I'm working on has got a woman who's in the Navy, and then I've got a third book planned with a woman in the Army.
Oh, awesome.
Because all three forces are up in Darwin. So I'm tying them and linking them with side characters and settings and that sort of thing, but I've got a different couple as the feature for each book.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, I had the prequel story about Macy, about the main character as to how she got to where she was. So that's come out in a duet like a pair of short stories called Gotta Be This or That.
Yeah.
So it's technically a prequel. It's set before the novel, but you could read them in any order.
Yeah.
Because I wrote them around the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's got that story. It's got another short story in there around the swing dancing, little romance around the swing dancing community.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. So are you calling them romance or more women's fiction?
I'm calling them chick lit, except nobody likes to call anything chick lit these days. So I tend to go like romantic comedy, or I'll say, I don't know, I tend to go romantic comedy a bit more. Oh, the prequel is probably more women's fiction because it's not a romance.
Yeah.
But I tend to sort of delve into the women's fiction, chick lit, romantic comedy, contemporary romance.
Yeah, all bases covered.
Mix them all together and little bits of each, depends on the story. I've got a short story as well that's more contemporary romance, romantic comedy.
Yeah.
That I wrote for, it was the Little Gems last year, I think.
Yeah, with RWA.
Yeah, with RWA. So it was the Onyx theme.
Yeah.
One, so I wrote that one, and it came like 17th, and it was only the top 14 that got in the collection. So I'm like, within a week of getting my result and saying I'm not in the collection, I went, well, I want to publish this now before anybody forgets who Pokemon Go is, because it had a Pokemon Go theme, and by then it was like, it's not cool anymore. So it's like, I need to get this out now.
Yeah,
I decided at that point, okay, I'm going to just self-publish it. So I jumped in the deep end and learned how to self-publish within a week. And put this little one up. So it's up as a freebie everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's wide and it's free.
Yeah.
3,000 words, a little bit of fun.
That's it. Pokemon Go. Oh, I remember those days.
So it's good. So it's a romance. It's still like contemporary romance. It's not like Pokemon falling in love. It's people. But they clarify that Pokemon Go. You know how you used to walk around with you catching the flicking the thing and all that stuff. It was big at the like when I started writing it. But so within 6 months, it's just and it's not cool anymore. I'm like, oh well, it'll be free. Nobody will want to buy something that's that far out of date now. So I put it up for free.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's out there. But then it was fun though. I enjoyed the self-publishing. So like I like having a bit of both. I've got some books with Kindred Ink Press that I don't have to, like, they do all the updating and the uploading and the editing and the covers and all that sort of stuff. But then I had a little play with something of my own, and I've put another couple of books out since then, just short collections or shorter books.
Yeah.
So there's so that the short story is called Catching Onyx.
Yeah.
If you can find that one.
Yeah.
Then I've got a collection of flash fiction called Wife, Mother, Woman.
Yeah.
That one's self-published as well. Excellent. And that's wide. And both those two are on audio.
Yeah.
I decided I wanted an audio book.
Yeah. So tell us about this. You've audio narrated it yourself.
Yeah, I did, because I thought, okay, I can get onto, like, I heard all about ACX.
Yep.
The audiobook creation exchange run by Audible.
Yep.
So I got on there and had a look. I thought, oh, this is great. You can do a royalty share, which means you don't have to pay up front. So I can get someone to narrate my book, and then we can split the royalties later. And it's only a short one, so they might give me a go. And then I got into the fine print. It's like, you live in Australia, you can't play with us. Yep. And I went, okay. And I didn't have a big budget to do this with, so I thought, I had a look around, and there wasn't really much that was easy to access from Australia. And then I heard about Findaway Voices coming.
Yeah.
So I looked into them, joined through Draft2 Digital. I've associated with them. So if you go through Draft2 Digital into Findaway Voices, they waive the setup fee for your book.
Yep.
Otherwise, there's a $50 fee. So I thought, well, I'll look into that. And then I looked into the rates for an audiobook through them, and it's like, well, like the story's only 3,000 words. It's not very long, so it wouldn't be too expensive. So I thought I might have a look at doing that. And then I just started looking around at narrating audiobooks and how does it all work. And then I went, well, for the price of a microphone, I could narrate that myself, or I could pay someone else to narrate it. And then, because I like doing everything myself, like those Catching Onyx, I edited it, I designed my own cover, I've done everything. So I thought, maybe I'll have a go at narrating it myself. So that sort of spun around in my head for a month or so. And then when my laptop died, I went down to JB Hi-Fi to buy a new laptop, and I came out with a new laptop and a microphone. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I accidentally bought a microphone, I better do it then. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was a bit of a learning experience. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Everything in this business is a learning experience. You've got to get in and have a go.
It is. It is.
So yeah.
So which ones did you narrate?
So I've narrated Catching Onyx.
Yep.
I've narrated Wife, Mother, Woman.
Yep.
And after doing that, I had a lot of people say, how did you do that? So I sat down to write a blog post about how I narrated those books. And my 500-word blog post turned into about 10,000 words, and so I called it a book, and I published that as well. So that's called Narrated by the Author. So I figured I better narrate that one as well. Yep. So I've got that one out there too. So I've got 3 audiobooks that I've self-narrated. So there's 2 that are fiction, and then one's about how to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to have a go yourself. So you can get a decent microphone for around the $100 mark.
Yep.
I think I paid about $150 for mine.
Yep.
And then you can use free software and free things to edit it, free things to record it. And if you go through Findaway Voices, you can upload it all for free.
Yeah, right. So you used Findaway.
Yeah, so I use Findaway. So you can actually bring your own files to Findaway as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So you don't have to use their narrators.
Yeah.
So I did that way. So the audiobook's wide. It's heading out to Kobo soon. They've just joined up with Kobo. So Kobo's got new audio. So I'm like refreshing my Kobo to see if my book's there yet. But it is on Google. It's on iTunes. They're on Audible, Amazon. Yeah. And a whole bunch of other places that I don't really know about, but every now and then some weird thing turns up on the royalty statement, and I'm like, ooh, where's that? There's lots of library-based subscription things or pay-per-use library stuff like Overdrive. There's a whole lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. So any of those Australian authors who are like, I don't know. There you go.
You can do it.
Yeah. But read or listen to your book first. Make sure you do that.
I started with short stories because I thought if I just tried out to get an idea of how it all works with a short book.
Yeah.
Before I jump in to try and do a novel. And my publisher's got the audio rights for my novel, so I can't really do that at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
But just to keep your mind down the track, it's like, well, I'll have a go. There'll be other things that I write, and anything else I self-publish I might have a go at.
Yeah. And it's good to get on the audio at the moment. It's huge overseas, and it's definitely on its way. I mean, I'm always listening to at least one audio book, which for me, I usually listen to audio which is out of my usual writing genre. So I write rural romance, and so I'm generally listening to Natasha Lester or Fiona McIntosh, something like that. Actually, at the moment, I'm addicted to the romance package on Audible. So I'm listening to a lot of Bella Andre, Lauren Blake, which is great.
No, I love the audio. I've always got my headphones or something plugged in. It's either podcasts or audiobooks.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always plugged in. I've got to remind myself to unplug occasionally and actually let my brain do imagination stuff. Otherwise I've got nothing to write because I'm so plugged in all the time.
I was listening to Lauren Blakely, the knock up plan, I think it was called. It's very hot. I was listening to that with my earbuds in, and I'm chopping up fruit and veggies for my kids' school lunches.
Like,
they're doing their homework. I'm like, I'm busy. So that was very funny. At least they couldn't hear it. So you were talking to me before about doing an e-course for this. Tell me how that all came about.
So with Narrated by the Author, I put out the ebook edition. I did a paperback edition. I decided to do the audio edition. So I decided, well, I might as well put an online course together as well. Yeah. So I used the text from the ebook and the audio files from the audio to do that section of the course, and then I've also recorded video with like screen capture and demonstrations on how I've done things. A little tour through my studio, which was my walk-through wardrobe. I decided not to do this podcast today in the wardrobe. It might have better sound, but you don't really want to see all my clothes hanging up behind my head. But if you do want to see that, go check out the online course because there's a couple of bits in there in the wardrobe. The rest is out here with the bookshelf.
That's it.
But so it walks you through and just a little bit more hand-holding, a little bit more. This is exactly how I did it. Here's some screen capture. Here's a bit more information. There's exercises and little activities to do all the way through as well to practice all the things you've just learnt, and a little quiz in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's just that little bit more if you find you want more than just reading an ebook.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So e-courses are getting really popular. I know I'm definitely thinking about it as well. So yeah. That's brilliant. So RWA, Romance Writers of Australia, I think 2016 you said was your first. That was my first as well. So we're newbies together. So have you is that the first year that you had joined it, or were you a member before that, or?
No, I just joined up in the January so I could go to conference.
Yeah.
Like I thought, I want to join that year. I want to do this. It sounds great. I had lots of friends say, "Oh, you should go."
Excellent.
Go to conference. Come to conference. So I went. 2016. I went 2017.
Brilliant.
And it was fabulous. It was really good.
Yeah.
And it's great to catch up with people that I see online all the time, but I don't get to see in person.
Yeah.
Especially when I was in Darwin, because there's no romance writers in Darwin. Yeah. There's one girl who I made friends with who started doing romance, like she's just started publishing things. But that was it. It was very literary up there. You go to any of the writing stuff and everyone sort of turned their nose up at you.
Yeah.
So it was nice to find one kindred spirit up there who wrote genre fiction. And then coming down here to Wagga, there's really not much down here either.
Yeah.
It's close enough to Sydney and Melbourne and Canberra that like I could find things if I wanted to. Yeah. But because it's a smaller country town, there's not a big collection of romance writers here.
Yeah.
So I keep in touch with people online more than anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've got an event you're going to in November, which is the West Coast Fiction Festival. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, I'm heading over there mainly to see my publisher. My friend Karen, she's coming over from the US. She's booked a table out the front with the other publishers, so she'll have all the books from Kindred in Press available for sale there. So I'm like, I haven't met her. She's one of my friends online that I've never met. So there's a lot of people like that, but I'm like so excited she's coming over from the US. Yeah. So we'll travel over together and I'll help man the table with her. So I'll have my books there. If you want things signed, I can sign them there, but I won't have one of the official signing tables inside.
Yeah.
But I'll be there and I can't wait to go over.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be huge. Of course, November in Perth is beautiful weather. So, I was talking to Lisa Ireland the other day, and she's going to be one of the signing, and a lot of the ladies that I've talked to on this podcast will be there. So, I'm a bit jealous. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I'm saving up to go to RWA next year in America. So. Yeah.
Well, I was like, okay, my publisher's coming over. I've got to go to that one. Yeah. So I couldn't really afford that one and RWA. Yeah. And I've got another weekend away coming up in Sydney for the Invictus Games because the choir that I'm singing in, the Military Wives Choir, have been invited to sing for the opening ceremony.
Awesome.
So I'm like, ooh.
And of course, Harry and Megan are going to be there.
There's a big group of us and you won't hear me. But it's very exciting. It's an opportunity you don't get to do very often. So
it is, for sure. No, that'll be exciting.
I think you've got to go, but I think that's all my travel budget's gone.
Yeah. You'll have to somehow, well, you can claim back the West Coast Fiction Festival.
That's tax. We'll claim that on tax.
I'm still waiting for my phone call telling me I get a stall. I haven't done that yet. Excellent. So what are you working on at the moment?
Right now, I've been a little bit slack for the last couple of months because my husband's just been on a 7-month deployment and he came back about 2 weeks ago. So it's all been like getting ready to see Daddy again and getting the kids all sorted. And I've been watching way too much Netflix and hanging out with him the last couple of weeks. But he'll head back to work soon and I'll get back into the project. I'm probably 3/4 through, which is the second book in the Got That Swing series. So after Don't Mean a Thing, I'm working on the next one. So the story with the Navy girl.
Excellent.
About 3/4 through that one. So I need to just sit back down in the seat and get my fingers back on the keyboard and keep things rolling.
That's it.
I find it like I'm not somebody who sits down and binge writes for hours and hours and gets it out. I've got to just plod away at things.
Yeah.
I get there and I get to 300 words and I'm like, oh, my brain is fried. I can't do any more. I need a break. But if I can keep going, I've set myself a goal to write 100 words a day.
Excellent.
If I can sit my bum down and write 100 words, that's usually enough to get the momentum going, and then I can keep going and I can write a bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those bad days, if I get to the 100, I've done something.
Yeah.
And I've kept the story fresh in my mind. And I can keep it going. And because I haven't been doing that for the last month or so, it's just all dried up and stopped. I need to go back and reread the last few chapters and get back into that daily rhythm.
Yeah. Maybe you should try dictation.
Oh, I've thought about it, but my brain doesn't work like that. I don't know. I feel like I need to think about what I'm saying with my fingers. Yeah. I don't know. But I might give it a try sometime.
Yeah, I'm dictating.
I can talk.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. I'm dictating my novel that I'm working on at the moment, as well as the last one, and I'm finding it really good. I will only do first draft, and then I'll edit like crazy on the computer. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely find it useful. So there you go, something to think about. Excellent. So where can we find you and your course and your books and your audio, and where can we find you online?
Well, there's links to everything on my website, which is the one that I originally started when I was book blogging. So it's called Hey Said Renee at blogspot.com. And I've just kept the same one. I haven't gone and got a new one. I just changed the header and changed the tagline and all that sort of stuff, and just put more pages with book stuff on there. Yeah. But pretty much if you Google Conoulty, Conoulty, you'll find me, because I'm the only Conoulty on the internet that's doing anything interesting. So I tend to come up in all the first two or three pages will be me with like a random thing from someone else. But I'm on Facebook a fair bit. I do have a Twitter account. I've sort of dropped off using that quite so much. I'm on Instagram. So I'm around.
Excellent.
I'm around. Hunt me down. Say hi.
Procrastinating like the rest of us.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Jump onto my website, sarahwilliamsauthor.com, and join my mailing list to receive a free preview of my books and lots of other inspiration. If you like the show and want it to continue, you can become a sponsor for just a couple of dollars a month. Go to patreon.com/sarahwilliamsauthor. And remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a review of the podcast. I'll be back next week with another loved up episode. Bye!